Hello Year 3. Today we're going to carry on with our English project example for the non-chronological report on our favorite animal. The next step after completing your research and putting it into your graphic organizer, you need to start writing all of this information into paragraphs. But first, let's write an introduction paragraph. An introduction paragraph is the first paragraph underneath your heading. Introduction paragraph is the most important paragraph. It's the first thing the readers will see after your heading. It should grab the reader's attention, and if it doesn't, the reader may choose not to continue reading your report. We need to make the reader interested in reading the rest of the report. Here are two samples of an introduction paragraph about hedgehogs. Tell me, which one grabs your attention more? Example 1. Hedgehogs are small, spiky mammals that live in many places around the world. Some people like to keep hedgehogs as pets, but some think of them as pests in the garden. While on the hunt, they rely upon their sense of hearing and smell because their eyesight is weak. What did you think about that as a first paragraph? Are you interested, or are you a little bit bored already? The second one and see how this goes. What is cute but spiky and snuffles like a pig? A hedgehog. Hedgehogs get their name because they are usually looking for delicious worms and bugs around the bottom of hedges. While they do this, they also make a grunting sound like a pig or a hog. So hedge plus hog equals hedgehog. Which of these two did you find more interesting? Definitely the second one, right? What I've done is I've put a question in there, a riddle. So straight away, it starts to make the reader think about what's going on and get them interested. For our introductory paragraph, we always need to make sure we grab the attention of the reader. Task 1 for homework. In your English copybooks, write a draft of your interesting first paragraph. You can use an interesting fact, start with a joke, anything to grab your reader's attention. The reader should know what the rest of the report is about. It should be talking about your animal as the topic from this first paragraph. The next thing we will look at is something called a topic sentence. Now, in your planning on your graphic organizer, each of your subheadings or categories will have information that you've written down in bullet points. These will then be written into a paragraph. But in the first sentence, we need to introduce what the paragraph is about. This is called the topic sentence. It's like a mini introduction to the paragraph. For example, in our hedgehogs example, our 4 categories are diet, appearance, habitats, and helping hedgehogs. We have to make sure that we're using varied topic sentences. We can use part of our research for the sentence, but we have to change and vary the beginning of each one so the reader doesn't get bored. We could use a statement, we could use a question, we could use an interesting fact, or we could even use a joke as our topic sentence, as our first sentence. Let's have a look at some examples. Here's the research we did together with Miss Sarah on our graphic organizer. She saw for appearance, the size, and how the hedgehog looks, and information about the spines and its colors. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to take part of my research and turn it into the first sentence. So my subheading is appearance, and my first sentence is going to be about the spines and how many spines there are. So for my topic sentence, I can write, hedgehogs are small and spiky, and adults are covered with 5,000 to 7,000 spines along their back and sides. So what I've done for my topic sentences, I've used a statement and some facts. The statement saying hedgehogs are small and spiky, and the fact is 5,000 to 7,000 spines. Now I found this one really interesting, so I thought this would be a good topic sentence because it'll make the reader think, wow, that's so many spines on such a little hedgehog. For my next topic sentence about diet, I'm making sure I'm not using the same words at the beginning of the sentence. I don't want to see a parent's topic sentence saying hedgehogs and the next one saying hedgehogs are, hedgehogs will, hedgehogs see. We need to try and vary the beginning of our sentences as well, using different vocabulary. Now, for diet, I've decided to choose earthworms And I'm going to make a little bit of a joke question. My topic sentence is going to be, would you like some squiggly wiggly worms for breakfast? Hedgehogs would. I've done this so that the reader is becoming invested in what they are reading. It means they're becoming focused and interested. Asking a direct question like this and putting it in a joke format makes it interesting and funny. For the next topic sentence, I'm going to use where the hedgehogs are found. I'm going to write a statement. I can say hedgehogs are found in many countries around the world. This is a nice, simple starter topic sentence. Now for my last topic sentence, I'm not going to use any of my information. I'm actually going to pose a question to the reader. Now my question is, how can we help these cute balls of spikes? Now instead of just saying, how can we help hedgehogs? Why would I write that twice? It's already my subheading. So I'm just changing the vocabulary a little bit so that it's still focused on what the content is, helping hedgehogs, but in a different way. Now, these are my topic sentences for the subheadings. As you can see, they're all very different. It makes sure that the reader doesn't get bored. I've used a joke, I've used a question, some facts, statements, and I've also made sure that the first words are not always the same. I know appearance and habitat are the same, but they're slightly different in formats. So please make sure that when you're writing your topic sentences, they're very interesting and very different from each other. Second part of your homework in your English copybooks, I want you to draw a table with subheading and topic sentence. And then I want you to write a topic sentence for the beginning of each paragraph for each subheading that you have chosen for your animal, please. The third thing we will work on are our paragraphs. We now need to write the rest of our research into the paragraphs under the subheadings. We need to remember to use present tense, so we're writing about it as if it's happening now. We need to include technical vocabulary, words that are specific to our subject, specific to our animal, and we need to make sure that our language is appropriate for our audience. Our audience, remember, are the children in Key Stage 2 at BICC. So your language needs to be appropriate or good for them to understand. Now, our 4 categories again were diet, appearance, habits, habitats, and helping hedgehogs. Let's have a look at an example. For my first subheading appearance, as you can see in my topic sentence, I've used 2 of my research points already. I've used the words small and spiky, and I've also used the information about 5,000 to 7,000 spines. Now, to continue on my paragraph, I'm now going to combine the size of 10 to 32 centimeters, and I'm also going to write about what colors they are. So here you can see I've continued on my paragraph. They can grow up to 32 centimeters long, but also may be as small as 10 centimeters when fully grown. Usually hedgehogs are black or brown with white underneath. Some people like to keep them as pets as they look very cute. Now I've added that extra little bit on because I found my paragraph was a little bit short. So I've added some more information about the appearance. Now it's not directly related to the appearance, it's why people keep them because of the appearance. Now you can see I've written everything into one combined paragraph. I've written my topic sentence, which is the first initial introduction sentence in the paragraph, and then I've added the extra information. I've written everything in complete sentences. I've checked my grammar, I've checked my capital letters and punctuation, and I've checked my spelling. So for the third task of your homework, I want to draft all the paragraphs for your research and then make sure that all of the information is there. And if you want to add extra information, you can, of course. But remember, use present tense words, use technical vocabulary, and make sure your language is appropriate for the audience. Now, the last step I want you to do of your draft writing are the captions for your images and any diagrams that you might have. You need to write the captions to make sure the reader understands the pictures that you use. For example, I've included a picture of a hedgehog so that the reader will know what a hedgehog looks like. Then I've added the caption, a hedgehog is covered in spikes called spines. Now this is given even more information because now the reader knows what a spine is and what a spike is. So what I want you to do for number 4 is I want you to write a draft for all your captions for feedback, just to make sure that all of your vocabulary and all of your sentence structure is correct, and submit that on the email, please. So here's a review on everything that you need to do to have your writing draft content ready for us to go through to give you feedback. Please remember that the content draft is due on the 21st of May. This gives us time to give you feedback before you create your final poster. So the first one I want you to do is write an introduction paragraph. Second task is to write topic sentences for the beginning of each paragraph. Vary the beginning of each topic sentence. You could use a statement, question, interesting fact, joke, anything like that. So one topic sentence per subject, per category. Task 3. Now take your graphic organizer research and write them into sentences or paragraphs. Use present tense, include technical vocabulary, and make sure that your language is audience appropriate. 4. I want you to make sure that you're writing captions for any images or diagrams that you are going to use in your poster. Now we're going to move on to talk about your final poster. Now, after you've had your draft writing checked by your teacher, you need to create your final poster. It is very important that you consider your audience, the Key Stage 2 students at BICC. You need to make the poster interesting to look at, to catch their eye, and make them want to read it. It's very, very important, your poster. Let's analyze this first poster, example 1, and see where we can make improvements. So, looking at the format, it has a heading, it has an introduction paragraph, it has some subheadings, they're in bold, but they're not very large. We have our information organized into paragraphs. It's very clear and easy to read. We have pictures inside the fact boxes, but we don't have any captions with them. But really, it's quite a boring layout. It looks like something that you would get in a textbook, rather than a poster that you would stick up on the wall. The heading is also a little bit small. It doesn't really catch your eye. And it's all white, and it's just a bit dull. I don't think I would stop to read this one very fast. Analyze example 2. Now, the heading is now bold. It's easier to see. I quite like that. We can see the introduction paragraph underneath. Now, the subheadings are also easier to see. They're larger. And then we have our information organized into paragraphs, but it's not very easy to read. There's all these different shapes and everything's all over the place. It's kind of a little bit tricky to read because it's just kind of a bit messy, don't you think? Now we have pictures with captions. We have a diagram with a caption down the bottom corner showing where hedgehogs are found in the world. We have a fact box top right with a bullet point. Makes it easy to see the information. And the layout is more interesting, but it's kind of a little bit bitsy, which kind of means there's so many little bits of it that it makes it a little bit messy and hard to read. So this one is better than the last one, definitely more interesting with the colors and the larger fonts with the headings and subheadings. Example 3 is looking very nice and easy and clear to read, isn't it? We have a nice big heading and then the introduction paragraph underneath. Easy to see subheadings because they're large and bold. Very clear information organized into paragraphs. You can see that we've used one green box here to separate the information, so it's not too much writing all together. And then also we've got on the right hand side the facts, and they're numbered instead of bullet points, which is okay. And then we've got the diet underneath. So everything's very clear and easy to read. We have a diagram with a caption, and the layout is definitely interesting. Nice big pictures, nice bold heading, nice colors that are working together. We have some grass down the bottom, which is quite cute. You could even do the grass in 3D as well if you wanted to cut and curl some paper. That's also another option. Here is another nice option. One thing it is missing for me though is our pictures of an actual hedgehog, because as we can see, they're all cartoons at the moment, so we don't actually know what a real hedgehog looks like. But we have complementary colors, quite nice text boxes. So the paragraphs are in different boxes in different locations, but they've been organized in a way that makes it look like the side of a house. It makes it look like, he's sitting on a table. So each thing works quite well together with its subheading and very easy and clear to read. Some text is bigger than others, which is also a nice way to focus. If you have some interesting information that you want to share, we can make some text a little bit bigger. And then we have a very interesting layout, very, very nice, interesting layout. I want to quickly talk to you about varying your layouts. Now you can change where everything goes to make the poster interesting. As you saw, we had 4 examples. Each one was different. You can make the paper going up and down in portrait or side to side in landscape. And here you can see an example of how we can move the title. We don't need to have the title at the beginning at the top. You could have it in the middle, you could have it on the left. You could put the paragraphs close together, you could put them spaced out. You could add more images or less images, it's up to you. So try and make a layout poster, a poster that looks interesting and is easy to read and catches the reader's eye. So if they're walking past it in the hallway, they are interested in stopping. As I said, you can use 3D elements as well if you want to, of course. So let's review the things you have to focus on when you're doing your poster. Remember, wait until you've got teacher feedback about your writing before you start making your poster. We can use the checklist again to make sure we've completed everything in the poster layout format requirements, as well as your content, as well as your writing. So first of all, we should have a bold and clear heading. We should have subheadings, which are very easy to see. We should have a separate fact box or multiple fact boxes if you wish. We should have pictures or diagrams that relate to the subject, and they should both include captions as well. We have to make sure the layout is interesting to look at. Make it colorful, make it bold. Put some 3D elements on it, some cut paper, anything that you want to do to try and make the poster as interesting as possible. Very, very important. We have to make sure everything is easy to read and clear. We need to make sure that the layout is easy to follow. This also includes your handwriting. Your handwriting should be beautiful and straight. Okay, year 3. So please make sure that your final poster is to us by the 4th of June. Okay, good luck everybody. Looking forward to these posters. Thank you, year 3.